It's time for the LowcoSports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Look, Ma, no countdown. StreamYard has a cool, not so new feature that I finally got over my anxiety and figured out how to use. You can set an intro and outro video now, and you don't have to do that countdown to buy you time to hit the go live button.
Yeah.
I was always scared to use it because I was afraid of what would happen if I did it wrong. But we did it for Wake Up Loco, and it worked. And now I'm very happy because I know how to use this feature. So welcome to the LowcoSports Lowdown Monday night edition. Getting started a little early tonight because it is a slow night in the Loco.
All before the storm, because tomorrow is going to be action-packed, especially on the hoops front.
Absolutely. And, of course, we're into the crossover season type territory where
we are now.
Go straight
spring sports have been started practice. They've started practice.
Yeah.
Games will start probably very soon. I don't know the exact date for each of the different sports, but
I know baseball, softball. It's March 5th or March 3rd for official contests.
We're a couple of weeks away from. I think soccer might be a little earlier than that.
And there's preseason. There's always preseason and scrimmage. You can do scrimmages starting the last week in February for baseball, softball. So, we're going to start seeing some of that real soon.
But it is heating up on the basketball court and the wrestling mat. We just crowned our state champions and from May River. They still got individuals to go, and then it is one heck of a week in high school hoops. I mean,
Kevin Libby noticed your addition to the background there, Wes.
Yes, I'm a proud alum, and I'll tell you, I've gotten to see Steph Curry a couple times. I got to meet him once, and just a great dude who always, it's just cool to see him be such a great role model and ambassador for that school, and how much he continues to come back and show support for the students. And he did get his degree a couple of years back, and that was something he had on his docket for a while since he joined the NBA, but was finally able to do it a couple of years back, and so he had to retire his jersey finally. Because Davidson has a big stipulation where you have to graduate in order to have your jersey retired.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
you're a student athlete, right?
Yes.
No, I think I almost feel like it should be that way with Halls of Fame for college athletics. I like for you to finish your career there, but it was a fun weekend. We did Wake Up Loco on Sunday morning for the first time, which was fun times. I enjoyed it. It was kind of a lower key vibe.
That needs to be a thing. That needs to be a thing.
I think it's going to be a thing. I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's fun.
Excited. It was fun.
The whole jingle, like a radio jingle or something for Wake Up Loco.
Wake Up Loco. We'll have to get somebody we'll have to have auditions to do the Wake Up Loco.
I think we know who'd win that. It's got to be Kevin Libby. Kevin Libby will come up. Hilarious.
Javon Livingston on Wake Up Loco jingle.
Yes.
That could be good.
Yes.
No, we felt like we had to do something Sunday morning because we had state champion crowned on Saturday with May River taking the title. And speaking of which, momentarily in the next 10 minutes or so, we should be joined by Gwynn, who I have the clip to prove it. Back on September 2nd, right here in this very studio on the LowcoSports Lowdown, Gwynn said, and I quote, "Don't be surprised if there's 14 dudes with rings on their fingers at the end of wrestling." He called that May River was going to win the state championship. He was the one who turned the tide. They were down 35-11 when he got the tech fall at 285, and that started the massive comeback, and they won at 36-35. So we'll relive it with Bo here in a little bit. He was a mainstay on the shows in the fall. So that was good times. Kevin Jingles was Kevin's nickname back when he was stripping. Kevin Libby, just keep being you. You had such a dynamic. But we'll be talking with Bo. That'll be fun. I got the clip queued up so we can call him Beaustradamus. That's what I've nicknamed him now. But that's going to be fun. We also will talk more and maybe now about the night that we had in the Cove Saturday. I mean, it felt like a sort of program-defining night as far as the women, like both teams beat
both.
Right, but I mean, like, it's the first time that I felt like they both were like cresting.
They both won big games. Like they both won important games, and they both won close games.
Well,
it was incredibly exciting. And we've seen before those two games where these teams have both let ones like those slip away, and this time they both got it done, which was just really awesome to see. And the ladies getting it done in overtime, the guys overcoming an 18-point halftime deficit, and came back a couple of times late when they were down a few points, and the clutch factor and resilience of both these teams. I mean, the ladies, it was Catwoman's night. Lydia Gutozzi was absolutely stellar. Incredible night from her. But there were so many others who certainly deserved a lot more praise or praise alongside Lydia for what they did as well. But yeah, she was fantastic. And then you go over the guys, KG being the hero, but once again, it took everybody along that path to come back. And Max, how fun was it to be on my call for that one?
Oh God, what a first game on basketball for me. First time ever doing any kind of broadcast with Justin Jarrett in our time that we have known each other. And I honestly can say that's that's the best possible game you can have for your first basketball game with USCB. I mean, I feel like it's a reoccurring thing. My first softball game for USCB was a walk-off. If I'm not mistaken, it was a walk-off. And here we are, an overtime game in my first time being on the seat.
How about that? I forgot that your first game, was it softball? I think we had softball first, right? Yeah, it was a softball walk-off.
They do have the best nicknames.
They do.
Man. No joke. They have the best nicknames. Jigsaw, Catwoman, the Jackal.
Yeah, I remember that softball game now, and we won a walk-off, and that was insane.
And it was a crazy game too. I can't remember what the score was, but both teams were above double-digit runs.
Well, all the guys' nicknames are just like KG and Kev.
You know what? I'm gonna call
initials and shortened versions of their names. Except for
I'm calling Gaines Kenny G from here on out.
Oh,
Kenny G, bro. Calling him in that.
Oh, you know what we should call him? We should call him Jazz.
Jazz,
that's a step beyond. You go past Kenny G, you go Jazz. Because you don't know which way the notes is going, baby.
Because he's so smooth, man. He's smooth.
Jazz.
Just like the one and only Kenny G.
You don't hear it, you feel it, man.
That's saxophone, man.
Yeah, man. But how about Jigsaw's game winner right here?
Oh, God.
The end one. Watch this. Dip and dicing through. And one. Jigsaw.
What a game. It was just it was.
So it looks like both Marcus Walsh and Kevin Libby are in on Jazz.
This has got to be the first time if I'm thinking about it, first time both teams have won out this week. First time we've had a 4-0 week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah.
Certain that's true. Back-to-back sweeps.
Holy crap.
4 scoops.
4 scoops. Yeah, what a great week it was for USCB. Not only did we have basketball, we had baseball and softball. Baseball team split on Saturday, giving the only loss for USCB that week in terms of all their sports. Women's golf had a great tournament. I believe it's at Cat Island. Had a great couple rounds of golf there. Then I heard they broke some records at track and field up at Liberty Indoor. So great weekend. One of the better weekends in my time being with you guys for USCB. Just absolutely a lot of stuff.
I got a good sunburn yesterday too. Coach,
sunburn.
A little bit. But
I'm getting itchy back here.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, but it's nice to be back in the swing on Monday. Loco Sports Lowdown brought to you by Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our all-star sponsor, our official real estate closing attorney, and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Mickelson Law Firm been supporting us since the very beginning and been our biggest sponsor all the way, our biggest supporters. So we appreciate them and hope you'll call on them for your legal needs whenever you have them. We hope you don't have too many legal needs, but when you do, call on Mickelson Law Firm. No, they got it handled. We promised you Beaustradamus, but before we bring him in, let's hear what he had to say back in September.
You have big plans for this year, right? You're going to be able to make 285? You good?
Yeah, I'm heavy up there now, but I'll get down there. I'm gonna make sure I get down there.
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna leave my teammates. I'll make sure I'm not gonna leave my teammates out to drive this.
He did not.
As you see, big things are coming from May River football. There's a lot of things coming from May River wrestling this year. Don't be surprised if you see 14 dudes with rings on their finger come February.
Oh, heard it here first. I'll have to get you on the Loco grind to make that claim. But yeah, I definitely think May River, both football and wrestling, on the come up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling been there for a minute though. You guys have been kind of the class of the area, trying to keep it there.
That's enough. But here he is, the man who called it first back in September. Beaustradamus, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Well, welcome back, man.
Doing good, champ.
Talk about calling your shot.
Yes, there it is. There it is. The rings will come later, but real quick, Kevin Libby pointed this out, and I noted it when I was looking for the
yeah, that's right.
It was awesome to hear Tim's voice, man. Like I was listening to the interview. Actually, I started on October 2nd. I ended up going through 3 times we had you on before I found it, and Tim was on every time, and it hit my heart, man. It really did.
Yeah. When I was in the car, you texted me looking for it. I was like, dang, I was also thinking about it. I was like, yeah. I was happy. I didn't really know him like that because he's a little bit older than me, but I mean, he was great every time I was on.
Yeah,
Would
man.
love to be here for this too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he would have been psyched. The Sharks winning that state championship, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I was headed over to the USCB game to call the games.
Oh yeah, me too.
And the last update I saw was 35-11 with 5 weights left, and I was like, "Oh, jeez."
Yeah.
Bad. And then I'm calling the game, and Max says May River won 36-35, and I go, "Hold up." And so I go in my head and I figure out who the last 5 weights were, and I'm like, it was Bo and the lightweight hammers, baby. So,
yeah.
Up against it, just incredible.
Yeah, it was insane. Like I remember I was just thinking, so I think at one point we were down, let me think, if we were down 35-11, we got pinned at 215.
Like
so that would have been
26-6 or something.
29-6 going into Josh at 190.
Oh my
and then
God.
Josh gets a little tech, make it 25-11. I was like, all right, we're getting progress. But then we come up on their 215, who was, if not the best on their team, the second best. He was a hammer. He was a stud.
Yeah. Him and the 150.
Yeah, he was definitely a stud. And we get pinned there. I'm like, all right, here we go. 35-11. I was down. I was like, oh God, here we go. But then I was like, because I've been told, Coach Powell told me all week that there was a good chance the kid that wrestled at 215, they were going to bump him up because they thought they could double up and get 2 wins there.
Yeah.
But then they roll out the kid that was, I mean, I watched film on him. He wasn't the greatest. I was like, all right, got to go get 6 if we're going to have any chance. Yeah. And then, I mean, I roll out, I don't get 6, but I should have had it. I put him on his back and I let him roll through. It wasn't good, but I mean, I get the 15-0 tech, and then
I knew a lot of techs in the heavyweight class. That's pretty impressive.
So it was rare. It was a lot of slap down to cement, just get him to his back, and then I was like, I come off. I was angry. I don't know if you watched the full thing, but if you can hear it. The announcer's talking about, like, I walked off. I spiked my headgear because I was angry because I was like, I should have got a pin there. But then I was thinking about, I was like, I mean, we're down 35-16, but we're coming around to the best set of 106 to 126 in the state of South Carolina. So I was down, but I was like, man, we might have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you got legitimately 3 potential state champs in a row right there with Stefano, Ryan, and Marcus. And then Liam was kind of the X factor. It came down to him. You know, I mean, he's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of those hammers. He's not one of those guys that like you count on to get you 4 or 5 or 6 every time. So it came down to him. I mean, the nerves that he had to be feeling, but he didn't.
Oh, I can't. I couldn't imagine being in that position. My stomach could be curling. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to ask. Y'all were down 36-11. I can't imagine like what y'all were thinking at that point, saying to yourselves, "How are we down this much, and how do we come back from this?"
Well, and Powell was doing that. So he was telling me, "Hey, we just got to keep pinning. We just got to
It was.
But as Han Solo says, never tell me the odds.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it found a way anyway. And
it was definitely the score got out a little bit out of hand. That we weren't expecting that as much because I mean where we started at was not, it was definitely not the best place to start for us. We are not. Yeah. We're I wouldn't say we're bad, but we're a little bit softer in the middleweights department. And it was, I mean, daring to come out and get 6 on one of their best wrestlers. So that 32, when he was at 32, the kid that they bumped their start or their best, like their 26, up to wrestle him.
Right, and Darian pinned him quick.
Yeah, Darian gets in on a nice low single, and then the kid's fighting him off, and kid ducks his head, and Darian locks it up, puts him right to his back. And we started like that, and we started jumping. I thought it was about to start. I thought the pins were about to start flowing. But then, I mean, we go to 38. We know their best dude is at 38. So instead of keeping Thomas there, we put out Braxton, he's a freshman. He's a backup. He's not bad. But I mean, he hasn't been in the biggest moments.
Right.
And he absolutely wrestled tough. He did absolutely what he was supposed to do. And then we go to 44. Thomas at 44. Thomas wrestling up a weight. He starts off well, and then it was just the kid was a tough kid. That is the best part of the lineup. 44 through like 65. That's the best part of the lineup. And then we go to what thinks the matchup of the night. Matchup of the night. It's 1-on-2, and Blake starts out well, and then every good wrestler gets caught in a position once in a while. That's not a hit to him. I love that kid to death, and it's just like
that kid has a wicked headlock, and now he knows.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Coach Powell said the other day, don't be surprised if those 2 kids are wrestling in the state finals here come 2 weeks from now.
I'll be shocked if they aren't. Really,
right?
I think that'll happen.
Yeah. Bo, just talk to me about your reaction. Obviously, what you did, but also just your reaction on the bench, watching your teammates close it out. And I'm sure you had to be as nervous as they were out there on the mat when it came down to those last 2 matches. So, I mean, what were your thoughts in those moments? And did you tell anything in terms of support or just coaching?
We've been starting to do like a little huddle to send them out. And I was just before Liam walked out, I said, "Hey, you just go out and wrestle your match. The kid gets tired fast." We had been pointing out all week to Liam. The kid gets tired fast. You wrestle your match. You stay in it. Yeah. You'll get to work come that that late second, third period, and that's what he does. He goes out and he gets a win for us and wins the state finals, and that's what it's all about. It's about the kids that are my teammates that might not get all the shine, but when it comes down to the biggest moments, they produce, and that's what it's about.
That's what you love about sports, man. That's the best. That's awesome. That's not just the comeback, but to see the unsung hero coming through at the end. I mean, that's
and it's such it drives home. I mean, as a coach, you tell the kids every freaking day that it takes everybody. It takes everybody. It takes everybody.
He's a really good guy,
and you hope that they. You hope that they buy into it.
Really grateful that I get to.
Yeah, very, very much. It's all about like it's just about the people. Like I said earlier, it's about the people that might not be the star-studded. Because their points value. Yeah. I would say our best wrestler on our team, and everybody knows this, is Josh. Absolutely, Josh is the best wrestler on the team. Josh will be a state champ this year.
It's more than 6.
But he goes out and pins. He gets 6. But if the worst kid on our team, whoever that is, comes out and gets pinned, his points are wiped away right away.
Right. Yeah, That's what Coach Powell was saying the other day about like how other sports you can have a basketball player that scores 75% of your points, but you can't do that in wrestling. You only have that one match.
Yeah, you got 14 dudes that produce that their points value the exact same.
Yep.
And I mean, when it came to it, the unsung hero came through, and that's what won us a state championship, and that's what it's about.
And that's how the heroes of the future are made, and that's how programs are built.
Absolutely.
I mean, tradition never graduates type thing, and so Liam goes on, and he's a young guy, right?
Yeah, he's a junior. We all, like Coach Powell said, we only got 3 seniors on our line, me, Darren, and Josh. Yeah. And I'm 1 for 1. I'm gonna call this again. Don't be surprised come next February, the Sharks state champs again.
2040 was the timestamp.
Got it.
So, I won't be shocked either. I think it's a dynasty in the making. It looks like it to me. That coaching staff is unreal for anyone in high school to have that many guys as qualified as they are and as dedicated as they are.
Yeah, it's insane. I'll go through that real quick. So obviously we got head coach Powell. He's coached for over 25 years. He was a college wrestler and a South Carolina wrestler himself. Mm-hmm. Then we got Coach C, who is a little bit older. He wrestled at Slippery Rock in college and is from Pennsylvania and stuff like that. And then Coach Walker is, he's really who I've connected with the most over 4 years. That's my guy right there. And he's from Arizona. He wrestled out in California and Arizona his whole life. And then Coach Gio, who he's not there all the time because he's a firefighter and stuff like that. But when he comes in, he really, really helps the lower weights. Yeah. Like I think like Marcus and Liam, they really, really benefit a lot from Coach Gio. And then Coach Swinton, who came in this year, he wrestled at App State, and he really helped the lower weights. And then coach that we added this year, who I think really propelled us to another weight, is Coach Benjamin. And he obviously was in the Army, and then he wrestled in Iowa before that, and then went to the Army, and then now he wrestled at Newberry. He's now here, and he's just really – because obviously I wasn't there during the summer too much because of football and stuff like that. But from what I hear from my guys, it's just he really turned us around. He pushed us every single day. He wrestles, and he's not just a coach sitting inside. He wrestles with us every day. I've took plenty of beatings from that man in practice. He knows what he's doing. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one of the cool things about wrestling. You can earn buy-in from your wrestlers by going and whooping them a little bit, like, oh, you don't want to listen to me? Let me show you how much more I know than you. You can't do that in every sport, but in the wrestling room, it's okay. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's been awesome watching you this year. You guys had a great season on the football field. You had a terrific season. Obviously, the wrestling season's been amazing. It's not over yet. You get to go to the state qualifiers this weekend. How does the mentality change now? You get to wrestle for if you had your name on the back, we'd say you get to wrestle for the name on the back now instead of the name on the front. But you don't have your name back there, but it's the same idea. It's for you now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the mentality changes much. I think we go out with a killer instinct, and we put in over today. We already have practice today. We'll practice tomorrow, and we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday. We'll practice a little bit Friday before we head up to Hartsville, and it's the same. It's the same mindset. You got to go out, and whether you're wrestling for like you said, the team on the front or the team on the back, you got to wrestle the same. You got to wrestle like you're doing it for everybody in the crowd, and you're doing it for everybody on your team. Because you can go like Coach Powell was talking to us today. We just won the South Carolina High School League state championship, but come 2 weeks from now, we can go win another Coaches Association state championship.
Are they actually recognizing that now as a state championship? That's awesome because
that would be the icing on the cake if you could go back to back in one season.
Yeah, you get true state champs.
Yeah, you get the same almost the same exact trophy. I think it just says Coaches Association instead of South Carolina High School League. You get another plaque. You get another one of the big South Carolina High School League big things. It's all recognized nowadays. Yeah. And I think with the 14 guys we got, and now with the new rules that it can't come from a 8-man bracket at state to a 16-man bracket, I fully believe that we're going to qualify all 14, and we'll have 4 to 5 state champs.
Yeah, I think you got a real shot to take.
And I think 8 to 9 state placers. I'd say that top 4 state placers.
Yeah, I think you're on about the right track. And 4 to 5 champs sounds about right to me. I think the 4 that are ranked first have a real good shot, and then I think Steph's going to win it. I really do. I can't see anybody beating that man. Like
he's so just. I think we like to call him Tater Tot because he's a little kid on our team, but he's the way he's built is just like he's a little bit smaller and he might have a tough time against a kid that's a little bit longer, but there's nobody on our team that wrestles better than him. He has some of the best technique I've ever seen in my life, and it's insane the technique he has.
Yeah, he's technically incredible. He's been doing it for a long time, and even before he started wrestling, he was doing jujitsu and stuff. Yep. So he's just
there's a lot of the kids on our team that have jujitsu backgrounds, and I think that's really helped them a lot.
I think so too. It gives them some stuff that guys don't know how to counter, for one thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I think it just I think it really helps like the flexibility and stuff like that, and
they can do
defense and stuff like that.
They can do some crazy stuff. Tater Tot is a rad nickname. My last question for you before we let you go is going to be future plans. I know there's been some interest on the football front. How's it looking out there for you?
Yeah, I'm coming down to a final decision here. I would say within the next week or so, I'll probably decide where I'm going to go play. And that's just the goal. That's to go play in college and study political science and then law school after that.
Okay. Well, that was going to be my next question. Was the career
I have one more thing.
Libby wanted to know if you're going to be a coach.
I mean, I've more taken to like the like sports announcing side than more the coaching side. I like teaching the kids a little bit, but I like sports announcing a lot more because the baseball games I'll be doing that again this year. I'll be announcing those again, and it's just fun. I like being behind the mic. I used to do it when my dad did it when he used to do it with the Bluffton Bulldogs, and I always used to sit up there before my games and stuff. And I've always liked it.
I remember because I went through Bluffton River games. I was like, who? I was looking like someone was broadcasting the game. I didn't know who it was, and I guess that was Gwynn, and I just never realized it. But that's really cool. Yep. That's really cool. But Bo, before I let you go, speaking of coaches, just shout out some coaches and just mentors that have helped you. I mean, high school coaches, but also club or if you were in other wrestling programs, just shout out some coaches that meant most to you as you have gone on this journey to become a state champion.
Yeah, so I just obviously Coach Powell has been there with me through 4 years. When I came to high school, I wasn't really planning on wrestling. Like that was not a plan for me, but him and Coach Bonneville kind of convinced me that it would help me out. And between him and Coach Bonneville, they've really pushed me through. And then obviously Coach Walker has helped me out the last 4 years. He claims he likes to beat up on me, but don't let him fool you. I beat him up every day. Do not let him fool you. and then obviously this year, Coach Benjamin, he's really helped out. He's really helped the whole team, but he's helped me out. And I think, and just having a coach in the room that's able to wrestle with you and show you things that are way more advanced from like the college level and stuff like that really helps you out and shows you a different perspective. And I think that's really just helped me as a person and us as a team, and that's really propelled us.
No doubt. Great suggestion by Libby here. We had Zoe Allen make his college choice live on the show the other night. You want to come back and make the announcement here?
Yeah, I'll definitely come back in about a week or so, and I'll let y'all know where I'm going to go.
Yeah, you let me know when it's happening. We'll make sure we plan the show around it. All right,
put you on.
Sounds good.
All right, appreciate you, man. Congratulations again. Job well done. And
thank you.
We'll see you real soon.
Yes, sir.
Take care, man.
Super Bowl.
Later, champ.
Oh, Gwynn, everybody. So I guess we're going to get another live college commitment on the Lowdown. Great call.
Hey, Alonzo was the first. We're going to have another one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, let me shout out our Loco Booster Club member back for another year. We got Hudson Seafood House on the docks. They need company in the Loco Booster Club, but Loco Booster Club or Hudson Seafood House on the docks. You can go over there, get some scramps, get some cocktails, some seafood. Check out the sunset. It's one of the prettiest places in the world right there on Skull Creek. And they got wonderful local seafood, good people, big supporters of Loco Sports and presenting sponsors Under the Bus. So check out Hudson Seafood House on the docks. And now we're going to shift gears. And we're going to talk a little high school hoops, update our power rankings, and we welcome from WHHL.
Before we do that, I have a score to report.
Well, let's get Marcus in here first.
Yeah, please.
Marcus Walsh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, gentlemen?
Did you
How
have
are
to
we?
report, Max?
I have the score. It's not a basketball game.
Wait, do I need to make the sound?
Sure, why not? So it's not a basketball game. In fact, it is a baseball game. Tonight, the head Christian Academy Eagles, your state champions, defending state champions, faced off against Beaufort High School tonight in a scrimmage at Beaufort. Hilton Head Academy won 4-1 over Beaufort tonight.
I'm not really interested in scrimmage scores.
There's a
I
name.
I know that. I know. Win the scrimmage. Then
I know. But I was watching it. Obviously, they have a lot of players returning from last season. One player that I did not see last season that's clearly showing out tonight, as I was looking through the stats, is a kid by the name of Dylan O'Brien. Keep that name in mind as the season comes to a start in the next couple weeks or so. He may be a mainstay player for them for the next few seasons because if I'm not mistaken, I think he's only either a sophomore or a junior this year. So they have him years. Yeah, HACA, Dylan O'Brien.
Where do you come from? Is he local?
I assume he is.
You never know because people move here from all over.
He might have been playing JV baseball last year, but he was the story of the night for them. As I'm looking through all this stuff, 2 runs batted in, and he was in the number 9 spot in the lineup too. So keep a close eye on him. He looked like a star. Hayden Brooks had a great night as well. Started off on the mound for them. 0 hits, 0 runs over 3 innings for the Eagles. So good start for the Eagles. Obviously, yes, it is a scrimmage, but I wouldn't be shocked if. Well, the difference for them this year is they're playing 4A baseball this year, not 3A baseball. So they got a lot of.
It's going to be a little more challenging.
It is a little more challenging, but I should remind everyone now they did lose quite a few players here and there from last season, but I should remind everyone they did beat the defending 4A state champions for this year last season, and that is Augusta Christian. So keep a very close eye. I believe those two play each other at some point this season. So that could be a potential state championship matchup once again. But from what I'm seeing in terms of the players they have, they're looking like a team that could make a deep run in the playoffs again. So keep an eye on them. Obviously, it is a scrimmage. It's not an actual game, but I thought I'd share that one with you guys because I had no idea what was going on today.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't even know you could scrimmage yet. I guess you can.
Oh. I guess yeah. Well, the Beaufort is obviously high school team, but yeah, I interesting. I did not realize you.
Looking at Beaufort's lineup, this is what I do like about a scrimmage is I can look at the lineup and go like, oh, that's who
yeah. I mean, obviously
they got a little bit back. They won't be bad. I mean Hudson Mullen obviously is back. Gunnar Hollingsworth's back. He's a dude.
I should remind everyone they are opening up. They're opening up the season in Florida for the tournament being hosted at the IMG Academy, and they are scheduled to play IMG in their second game of the year.
Wow, Christian?
Christian or Beaufort?
Homehead Christian.
Wow.
Will be down in Florida for a tournament, including IMG Academy at their facilities, which, by the way, I've been to their facilities, their baseball facilities at IMG Academy. Unbelievably beautiful baseball
like
fields.
College level caliber.
Oh, absolutely. Like D1. We're talking D1 looking fields,
Great stuff.
That should be very, very exciting. Jay Scarborough a couple months ago, he was like, I have the schedule. Do you want to see it? And I was like, yeah.
Christian's pretty young. Christian's pretty young.
They're young, but that JV team they had last season was really good. So
yeah, they're really good, but I think there's going to be some growing pains. They got some real youth.
Well, there will be. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I will say this. They're not going away. I mean, yes, they are young this year, but they ain't
don't get me wrong. I know they're young because I know these kids because I've watched them come up. They know how to play. Don't get me wrong. They know how to play. They're going to be really good.
4A baseball is different than 3A.
They're going to be really good again in a couple of years, but I think, and maybe by the end of this season, but I think early they're going to take some lumps because they're very young.
Going to. And
when they go down there and play some big boys,
they're opening up the season in their second game against one of the top baseball teams in the country.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to get exposed a little early.
But I think that's a great challenge for them. I would have loved to see last season's team compete in this tournament at IMG to see how they would fare against some of the top teams in the country, because I think some of these teams in this tournament are coming from all around, not only the Southeast, but across the country for this tournament. So,
I would think so.
Definitely going to be keeping an eye on them. But
I guess here's my preseason take on Hilton Head Christian. If their veteran leaders lead well, they've got a chance to be really good at the end.
You said that good leadership will stay from even
right, and that's what I'm saying. But you never know when you turn it over to the next group of leaders. You don't know what kind of leaders they're going to be, and so here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying is they have a good core group of kids back from that championship team, and as long as they understand that their role has changed now, and that they have to lead, and that they have to lead through adversity early and nurse these young kids along, and they don't get frustrated and start showing bad body language and things like that, because that can happen. You're a kid who's accustomed to winning. You're struggling. Young kids are making mistakes. You start to show negativity, and it can snowball. So if they take that upon themselves to really lead well, and bring the young kids along, they could be very dangerous at the end, because these young kids.
Very sure, I am.
But they got to come up along the way.
Yep, no doubt.
And I think Scarborough will set that tone. So I think they have a chance to be really successful.
Yes, I'm excited to see what they do. A chance to win 2 in a row, and leadership. It's a thing that is hard to replicate sometimes. You have the guys that have seen it be done before recently. I think they've got a shot to make some noise again and potentially compete for that.
They need Steele and Slade and Kalala and Brooks.
Exactly what I was going to say. They have the potential players to be great leaders. They got Hayden Brooks. Hayden Brooks was a good leader last year. He helped lead that team last season as a junior. Slade Bird was also a leader on that team. Believe it or not, Slade Bird was also one of the leaders on that team last season. He's only a sophomore.
Well, I know they're going to lead baseball-wise. I'm talking about from a locker room chemistry.
I think they got it. By the way, we should mention that both Slade Bird and Hayden Brooks obviously recently just committed to Montreat College. Slade Bird, by the way, is currently committed to play baseball at Georgia Southern. When he's at home at Christian. So he's another bird going to the D1 program. Another bird. That's a great D1 program to go to. Georgia Southern's had a very solid D1 program for many years now.
Man, I've been in love with that kid since I first saw him play. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
His left side is beautiful. Just beautiful.
But let's talk some hoops, fellas.
Yeah, but hey, enough spring sports. Spring sports. It's basketball season, and we got a big week ahead of us. Let's get into some power rankings.
Yeah, we do need to do the power rankings. It's been
a
long minute.
Can we get those up to remind everyone where we were at the last time we did rankings?
Well,
I have a feeling a couple things may or may not have changed. At least
you have in front of you, JJ, or
I've got changes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, Marcus. You know how to make some changes.
I have changes.
Well, yeah, everybody's going to have major changes, obviously. Where is it?
Oh,
there it is. All right, here we go. All right, so who wants to start? Are we starting with girls, I presume?
Yeah.
Either girls, yeah, sure.
All right, so the top part up here is the girls.
I've got mine ready if you want me to lead off.
You lead us off, Marcus.
Go ahead.
Well,
M-Dub.
Based off of what JP2 just did, getting through their first playoff matchup, seeing them in person and seeing what they did against HHCA, I have to go with them number one. They just continue, and especially losing Dominique Jones in the Bluffton Classic. They have not skipped a beat. They continue to play team basketball at its finest. Obviously, Savannah Trott is a huge leader on that team. I got to go with them, number one. Number two, not far off, you've got Courtney Campbell and the rest of the great
Correct. He's on
Hilton
top.
Head,
1,
Hilton
2.
Head Prep Dolphins. They continue to roll. Philip Hartman has continued to just put together a great basketball team. He and his coaching staff, they're terrific, and they continue to work really hard. I mean, we cover at WHHI pretty exclusively. We cover what is formerly 7-4A, now 6-4A, and towards the middle, I was like, where do I go? Do I go Beaufort? They're playing better, but they don't quite have maybe what we're looking for yet. They have some great wins, including the game that we saw last week on WHHI. But I went with Bishop England at number 3.
Well,
Bishop
they're
England.
not
We
technically,
don't
they're not
count
technically
them.
local.
They're not in the
Yeah, they're not.
It's
they're
a
not in
local
the
tournament.
coverage area.
Okay, so they don't count. Okay.
No.
Well, all right.
If
I'll
they
go.
did, they
I'll
would be
go.
number 1, by the way.
What's that?
If they did, they would be
He
number
would
1.
be.
Yeah,
So he would
I'll
number
I'll
1.
go I'll go Beaufort then
All right.
at 3. Beaufort has played great basketball. They as of late especially, and I tell you what, just a heck of a performance against May River that I saw the other night. They just came out ready to go. They were up 11-2 at the end of one, and they did not look back on their way to a huge 56-34 win. They continue to impress, and I'll get to see them with Kevin on Thursday night against Hilton Head. They continue to look really good. That does change things a little bit for me. I had Hampton at 5. I'll push them up to 4. They continue to win and do it really well. They are true road warriors of anybody. And just kind of taking a look at some of the other teams, especially the ones that I see, and there are definitely some holes. But I will see this team later on, just to finish it off, kind of on the spur, with having to take Bishop England out. The record isn't great, but you can't count this team out. And again, I will see them for the first time later on this week on Thursday against Beaufort. I'll go Hilton Head 5. Yeah, the record is not great, but there's something special about that girls team. Russell Wisniewski does a great job, and those girls, when they put it all together, they've got something special there. So kind of as a default, just off the top of my head, I'll go Hilton Head 5. So I've got JP 2-1,
When you get
Hilton
down.
Head Prep 2, Beaufort 3, Hampton County 4, and Hilton Head 5.
All right. I've got it recorded. Who's next?
Can we put the board up? I forgot what teams are what.
Yeah, but we don't.
guys,
I don't
I'm
have
tired.
all the scores and everything, or the
No,
the
that's
records.
fine. I just need to know who we had the last time around.
Well, last time around we had JP2, Beaufort, Hilton Head Prep, Hilton Head High, Cross, May River, Bluffton, and Hampton in that order.
Oh, all right, I'll go. Yeah, I think the clear and obvious number 1 for me is JP2. They've been the most solid throughout the season. They're looking really good. I like how they're playing, and those wins against Hilton Head. Now, look, Hilton Head Christian is not, the team they once were. That's clear and obvious. But how they beat them is what shows me that they're one of the more talented teams in the area.
I sure did, Kevin. I sure did.
So I think I got to put JP2 at 1.
Yeah.
2.
2 is basically between Beaufort, Hilton Head Prep, and Cross.
Yeah, I'm not putting Cross at 2. Sorry, I can't right now. Number 2 for me, you know what? I'm gonna go with Hilton Head Prep. They've been on a tear as of late. They've been destroying teams. Now I get their region's not the strongest, but
right,
they've looked so
Taking
just
care of
really
business.
good together. They've just played really well together. Really great chemistry on that team. And it's really showing lately. So I'm going to put Prep at number 2. I'm going to make the move there. Number 3, I'm going to put Beaufort at number 3. Yeah. I think Beaufort's a solid team. Yes, they're not Bishop England. Let's put it there. They're not Bishop England, but I don't think they're overly far off from Bishop England in terms of how good of a team they have been.
They played them pretty close that one time.
So I like Beaufort. I think they've been playing well. I'm intrigued to see how they do when they get to the playoffs, because more than likely they're going to be in the playoffs this year. So I'm excited to see how they do, and how far they can get, and what other teams they'll have to face within Lower State. And I think there's quite a few girls teams in the Lower State that are going to be interesting. Thank you. So I'm going to put Beaufort at number 3. Number 4.
Hampton's not on there, but probably should be.
I'm gonna put Hampton at 4. I saw them on Friday night, last Friday against Whale Branch, and they are really good. Like I don't think we've talked enough about them this season. They are a very solid.
They've gotten better too.
They've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the season. They've really improved. They've been playing really great basketball. I think they're going to run into, obviously, the one team they'll run into issues with in their region right now is obviously Lake Marion.
Yeah, but they played them tough the first time.
They played them very tough, and and for that reason, I think they played well against Lake Marion. And Lake Marion is a animal of a women's basketball team. They are so good right now. I watched some film on them the other night. Holy crap, are they good? But for that reason, because they played so well against Lake Marion despite the loss, I got to give Hampton number 4. I think they've been really showing everyone that they're a better team than people thought they were at the beginning of the year.
I agree.
They've really improved this season. Number 5, I'm taking Cross Schools out. I can't put them in the top. Well,
I mean, here's the question: do you think Cross would finish 3rd in Region 6 4A, 3rd or better?
No. They at best would finish 2nd.
They wouldn't be Bishop England.
No, they wouldn't be Bishop England.
And I don't know that they would be Beaufort. I don't know that they would be Beaufort. They lost to Beaufort where they were down more than just PJ.
They were down more than a couple players. That's the thing.
Well, I think it would be close with Beaufort, but I think they would beat everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. At best, they'll finish 2nd. In that region.
Well, at work, yeah.
I'm gonna. You know what? I don't like how they're playing right now. I don't want to be rude and say something I'm gonna regret. I just think they're playing lazy.
Yeah, they're just playing down to the competition.
Yeah, they're not showing me something worth watching. Like, they're a very good women's basketball team, but I don't really want to. I don't want to be
giving them the 5th spot or not.
I'm going to give them the 5th spot despite everything I just said, because to be honest, I think they are worth a top 5 team. They have the talent to be a top 5 team, but for me, they just haven't played like a top 5 team. But regardless, I think talent-wise and how their season has gone, I got to put them in the top 5. So I'll put them at that 5 spot, and Hilton Head's just sitting outside with that 6th spot for me.
All right, Wes.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. No, I think mine are pretty close to the couple things from both of yours, but I will start us off with your number 1 team, JP2. Who would have thought?
So Kevin Levy asked who had JP2 as the top one.
This is just. It was Hilton Head Christian Academy girls. It was always Hilton Head Christian Academy girls, at least the last few years. But the queens have no longer are the queens of the Low Country because JP2, the Golden Warriors, are now setting the pace for everyone else to follow. And my goodness, did they look good on Friday night when they took down Hilton Head Christian Academy? Man, that was a heck of an impressive victory for that team. And man, Karen Floyd, the coach, she is doing a fantastic. She's had some good teams in the past. I remember when that Takai kid was over there. She was a monster. Yeah, But this team is, even despite injuries, so we've seen in this over the course of the season, man, have they continued to excel, and I really was worried about them heading into the new year, but they have impressed me in so many different ways with what they have done out there. That was a 51-23 victory, by the way, and Savannah Trott was tremendous. So was Cameron Michael. Ellie Heathcott with 12 points as a freshman led the team in scoring. So getting contributions from everywhere from those starters who are asked to deliver, and they continue to do so. And man, JP2 Golden Warriors are going to be a tough out in 4A playoffs for sure. And I had them as number one. Number two, this is tight because you're kind of comparing apples to oranges here. Because Hilton Head Prep has dominated their competition. Beaufort has had a tougher schedule, but they've picked up some important wins. So their only losses are Bishop England, which is an absolute powerhouse. I don't think Hilton Head Prep would beat Bishop England. I'm not sure if Hilton Head Prep would sweep May River at the level that Beaufort did. So I'm going to go against the grain, put Beaufort number 2, Hilton Head Prep number 3. And I like this Beaufort team. But that last May River win was really impressive to me.
Sure was.
The Hillhead game is really interesting this weekend, or this week. They play them twice to round out the regular season. But Beaufort has kind of come out of nowhere this year. The best team that they have had since the Layla Warren days, back 4 or 5 years ago. And Hayward has been a tremendous player, huge, and she's just a freshman, tremendous, that electric player who's been able to really lead them in scoring, but also do so many more different things for that team. And she's been a heck of a spark plug and playmaker for them. So they've got some younger girls or some other girls in that team that have really taken up the slack and have gotten important minutes for that Beaufort team. And I think that they're going to be a factor they're right outside the top 10 RPI. When you look at that metric, and obviously it doesn't tell everything, but they are 14th in RPI, and they're right on the heels of teams like South Florence and Wilson and Fountain Inn. So they're
2 seed. I do.
Yeah. So Beaufort's gonna be right there in the mix, I think, and will have a chance to do some special things in the playoffs if they can continue to raise up their game. But Hillhead Prep right there at 3. Courtney Campbell, what an amazing year that she has continued to have, and she is just delivered them to new heights this year. And I think now if you rank teams most likely to win a state championship, they're number 1 by far. But this is of course power rankings, where you're ranking teams by how good are they against the other squads in the Loco. So I have Hillhead Prep at 3. Hampton County on the rise, moving up to number 4. Like I said, underrated, or like what you said, Max, underrated team, but they're really starting to find their game as this conference region schedule has gone along. And I'm excited to see how they do this weekend, or this week as they prepare to make that last step into the postseason. So I think Hampton County is right on the doorstep of potentially making some noise in that 2A classification. So like what I'm seeing from the Hampton County Hurricanes. And then number 5, this is typing to go with my hometown Seahawks. That win at May River was tremendous. Richard with Atlanta Richard with an unbelievable shot to win that game. Man, they blew it almost 4 times in that ball game, but they found a way. What a shot that was from Richard, but tremendous coaching from Coach Renz. He's been there for a while now, and he seems to be one of the more underrated coaches on the girls' side of the Loco. He gets a ton out of his guys, and
I agree.
Yeah, they just always do a good job of playing defense and rebounding the basketball, and they can go deep on you. They'd have some young ladies who can come in here and like the Onan girl. There was one game a couple games ago where she made like 4 threes. and so they have some players that can step up and provide really quality minutes for this women's Seahawks team. So I got Hilton and High at number 5 to round things out in my power rankings.
So Wes is just about identical with me, except we have Hilton Head Prep and Buford switched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got JP2 at number 1, obviously, no question. I'm with US. Buford, I think Buford's a little stronger than Prep. I think they're 2 guards combined. I think if you put the whole together, I like them a little bit more than Prep. Also, I guess I'm the only one who remembers that Cross just beat Hilton Head Prep by 7 like a week and a half ago. So I put Cross at 3 because they swept Prep and they beat JP2 before the dark times. And then they lost to JP2 this time, but played them tough.
I just don't know how to judge them because they haven't had a full season and they
only missed a couple games. They've been playing. Yeah. They've been routing people. They just beat on the Prep on January 30th, 47-40. So I think it's time to pay attention to what's going on with them again a little bit. So I got Cross at 3. Prep at 4 and Hampton at 5, which doesn't change our power rankings too much. We end up with JP2, Buford, Hilton Head Prep, Hampton, and Cross as our top 5.
Hilton Head, the first team left out.
Yep.
Okay. But hey, rankings don't matter at the end of the day. It's what you do.
They don't matter at all.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. For those teams that didn't make the top 5, who cares? It's all about what you do. Because the playoffs, everybody's don't know if you make it. Most teams will make it, and if you do, hey, you're 0-0 and you play the team in front of you. We're going home.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Cross schools isn't good. Like, they're very good, but
I just think we're over penalizing them at this point and losing sight of what's actually happening because of what happened.
I think,
and that's all.
Well, I think we know that they're probably in one of the weaker divisions in skis of basketball.
For sure. But still, they played Prep head up and beat them. Like, how can they be not ranked in Prep's 2nd or 3rd? I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. I just don't see a rationale for it other than we're mad at them.
Well, it's not
3-11. They're 3-11 on the season. I mean, their record is 3-11.
How
can you put a 3-11 team in the top 5?
Cross girls? They're not 3-11.
Okay.
They're 14-10.
Okay, well,
you're talking about the boys. The boys team's 3-11.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Cross, the high school league team. My apologies.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, they just beat.
I was like, what are you talking about?
No.
It's not that. It's just
okay. So yeah, no, my apologies. Okay, no, I totally just looked. I by accident I looked up the Cross Trojans, which is a 1A team. So
I think we got kind of caught up in the whole thing, and they're still good.
I mean, honestly,
they're just not as good as they were.
I just feel like there were some times where they just did not play like I think they should.
Yeah, well, it's still like
well, yes, Justin, I'm hoping they've gotten out of that phase of just not, going through the motions, which is what they did earlier in the year.
Yeah, I just didn't realize. I just didn't realize those last 2 games happened. The Hilton Head Prep win 47-40, and then they played them. They played them again. Oh, they won the first game of the season, or on the second game of the season. But unfortunately, Chulik changed my power rankings, and these are the last ones of the year. So that's unfortunate.
That is true. That is true. I don't know.
What would it matter?
I think obviously I do think Cross is going to win this 2A state championship, but I also think there's got to be a team somewhere out there in the state that could be a potential,
I think so.
To them.
There'll be somebody.
I put them at 5 just because I just don't know what to expect out of them.
All right, let's do the boys.
Let's do it.
It's getting late. We're running out of time.
I'm ready to roll with the guys.
Buddy. Keep it brief.
I'm gonna go with Bluffton at number 1. I cannot wait to see them at home on Thursday. It's gonna be Dunk City, I think, in a great game against May River. Looking forward to seeing the high flying offense, and their defense pretty dang good in its own right. I'm going to go Hilton Head Prep number 2. I mean, good grief. That team just continues to deliver night in and night out. JP2 has fallen a little bit, in my opinion, over the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to go with them still solidly in my top 5 for sure at number 3. Hampton just continues to roll. Obviously, we don't cover them at WHHI, but I've followed them a little bit ever since the Bobcat Classic. They continue to roll and do some really good things. I originally had Bridges Prep, whom they lost to at 5, but then I thought to myself, I just saw May River end up having a huge win. They were struggling at the outset, and then they had a huge 62-29 win over Beaufort the other night on WHHI. They also beat Bridges Prep earlier in the year. I'm going to go, and I'm going to see them tomorrow in a big matchup as well. So I'm going to go with May River at number 5. So I got Bluffton number 1, Hilton Head Prep number 2, JP2 number 3, Hampton number 4, May River number 5. We've got Bluffton and May River tomorrow on WHHI TV. We've got Beaufort hosting Hilton Head on Thursday on WHHI TV. It's going to be great. It's going to be a bunch of basketball in the next 3 days. I can't wait.
It's going to be fantastic. This is the week that you were eyeing on the schedule after the snow day, the snow week. Moved everything else, but I'm ready to go with my guys. Top 5. Number 1, I got the it's still tight because Hilton Head Prep and Bluffton they split by the same margins. Now Hilton Head Prep, like I said, you're comparing apples to oranges because Hilton Head Prep is playing a schedule that is not as difficult as Bluffton. Obviously, Bluffton's in 6-4A. They're playing some quality teams, but really they only had the one slip up, and that was Hilton on the roads. You really can't dock them too much for that.
And they
and Hilton Head Prep, obviously, big time wins, but it's like you're comparing a team playing the ACC to a team playing a mid-major who's beating everybody up. So that's it. So due to that reason, I'm going to put Bluffton at number 1. They are playing some great basketball. Harry Skinner, he has been an unbelievable player for them this year. But you see the high flying ability of guys like Braden White, Cardinal Warren. I think they won one game recently where Cardinal didn't even play, and so the scary thought is when you have him back in the lineup, how much can he contribute even further than that? So I think Bluffton right now, they are the class, but they're by a thin margin right now over there. Number 2, I got Hilton Head Prep. Give me the Dolphins there at the second spot. They've been just pounding everybody they've been facing, and they're looking like I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion at this point, but it is highly likely that they are going to continue to run all the way through. Now, I definitely probably do a little research on the hoop because there could be some teams in 3 that can speak up, but I think Hilton Head Prep is just, by the looks of it, the clear odds-on favorite to do it again in 2025 in 3A. Skis high school basketball. Number 3, I got the May River Sharks primed for a matchup with Bluffton coming up tomorrow night. And that win over Hilton Head, jeez, they blew the doors off them. They blew the doors off the Seahawks. It wasn't like a complete blowout, but Gage Duncan, he's an animal. Andrew Johnson is a sharpshooter. He is fantastic. They have some real lethal offensive playmakers out there, and they're going to be a tough team to beat down the stretch. So I have them at number 3 on my power rankings. Moving on, number 4. This is where you have like another tier below. Yeah. You got JP2. You got Hilton Head kind of on the fence. But then you got some other squads like Hampton County and Bridges Prep. who are right there as well. So it is a log jam, as you said, JJ, for these next couple of spots. But it's so close. JP2 is had a tremendous year, and they really started off red hot, but they've continued to really play some good basketball. They've won a couple in a row. That Wilson
Had a
Hall
really
win
good win Saturday against Wilson Hall.
Yeah, that was one that really stood out for them. So JP2 is playing some great ball right now. Hampton County, you can't sleep on what the Canes are doing. They've been on a roll as well alongside that girls team. So Hampton County they're playing some great. They kind of similar mindset or kind of similar script of what we've seen before. Like they've had a slower start, but they've really picked it up and they've won.
They've won 11 in a row.
11 in a row. 11 wins in a row for the Hurricanes. So
their last loss was to Hillnet Prep
in
the first round of the Bobcat Classic.
That's
wow.
Insane.
Jeez.
Wow.
I was there.
Oh wow. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, for my my power rankings, yeah, it's like I said, so tight between these two teams. I'm gonna have to go with the team that's playing the best basketball right now between the two. That's Hampton County. I think that they are on the right track right now, and they're on a huge winning streak at this point as we head into the playoffs. I have them just a hair ahead of JP2, who I have at number 5. So it's incredibly tight, but it's going to be exciting how these last few weeks play out in front of us.
Yep. Maxie?
Quickly,
it's 10:09.
Yeah. Number 1, Bluffton. I mean, that's clear and obvious for me. I think it is tight between Bluffton and Hilton Head Prep.
Yeah.
But I think Bluffton, for me, is edging over just because of their schedule. And I think they have the much tougher schedule compared to Prep. Prep's had, obviously, region games, and their region is not strong at all.
Yeah, they've just been able to kind of coast.
Yeah, they basically coasted through. Bluffton at 1, Prep at 2. Prep's obviously Ty Harpering's been the story this year for them.
Yeah,
unbelievable player, unbelievable talent. Cannot wait to see where he plays at the next level.
By the way, we messaged the other day, and he said he's getting a lot of interest from some mid-major, low to mid, D1. So
good.
Sounds like there's going to be opportunity for him.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
USCB. It may not be.
Oh well, I mean they're already on him, but
I'm sure they are.
Yes.
Number 3, I got to go May
Real
River.
deal.
May River's been one of the top teams, obviously, in the Region 6-4A. I think their win over Hilton Head the other night is huge for them. Yeah, obviously they did lose to Colleton County, but again, they're on the road at Colleton County, probably one of the toughest places to play in Region 6-4A. That's not an easy place to play a basketball game.
Guys, if I can interject just real quickly, they were down. I'll say it again. They were down 11-2 at the end of one against Beaufort in the game that I called the other day.
The River was?
And then they just turned it on and really got after it and ended up playing.
Ended up with 62 after scoring 2.
Very good basketball.
That's crazy.
After really struggling in the first quarter plus.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. They are a very strong and very dangerously offensive team.
Yeah, they are.
But I should remind people, Beaufort has not had the best of seasons, so that's also part of it. But regardless, I think May River deserves to be that number 3 spot, clear as day. Now, I'm excited to see the 2 games they have against Bluffton coming up because those should be fun. I'm very excited for that. Number 4, I got to go JP2. I can't put them any lower than 4 for me. Yes, they've had a rough schedule. Like their schedule, the region they play in for them is not easy, obviously. You got to play Trinity Collegiate, very solid men's basketball team. Lawrence Manning's also a good basketball team. They've had some difficulties. And look, it's their first season in 4A basketball, but even with it being their first season, I think they're doing great. They just knocked off the number 1 team in their region in Wilson Hall, I'm pretty sure, right? So, I think they're playing well. If I had to choose between JP2 and Hampton County right now, for me, I think it's JP2, and then Hampton County, like ever so slightly behind at number 5. So I think I have the same as West. I got Bluffton 1, Prep 2.
I think I did have Hampton ahead of JP2.
Oh, you had Hampton ahead of JP2.
It's tight.
Yeah. JP2 4 for me right now. Like I obviously this is our last rankings, but that could easily have changed over time. And Hampton at 5. Now I did see Hampton on Friday night against Whale Branch, and they are electric. I would see them going deep in the 2A playoffs, especially in lower states. They could be a team on the watch for potentially a lower state finals appearance. I really do fully believe that. From what I saw on Friday. And that was my first time seeing Hampton County boys play, as well as Hampton County girls. So I'm very excited to see how Hampton County does as the season comes towards the postseason. They're very strong, very good. It's so close between JP2 and Hampton County. And then literally at 6 for me, right outside for me, it would have been probably Bridges Prep. If it's not Bridges,
probably Bridges.
It's got to be Bridges.
But
we should remind everyone.
That loss to May River.
We should remind everyone. On top of Hampton County's win on Whale Branch, I should mention they absolutely smoked Bridges Prep the last time they played them. If I'm not mistaken, the score at one point was 36-9.
I think that rematch is a little bit of a trap game for Hampton, though, because of the way they beat them.
Are they rematching? I thought they've already played twice.
No, they did. They played in the Bobcat, but Bridges goes.
Because this was a rescheduled game.
It's region.
Region game.
Okay.
Yeah, region game coming up tomorrow.
They gotta play again.
They played in the Bobcat.
Here's the thing for me with Bridges Prep is inconsistencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it showed against Hampton County.
But that's the thing is, if they show up and they're the good Bridges Prep, like they can beat you, like no matter who you are.
They can beat you. Like, I still think it'd be much closer, but I still think Hampton County would beat Bridges Prep, even if Bridges Prep had a good day.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hampton should beat them. I think they're the better team, but if they don't come ready to play,
the other thing is
the best game. That'll be
the other thing is, and we know this very well. Hampton County fans travel well.
Well, it's at
really
home.
well.
So it's at home.
Yeah, this one's at home.
I know, but that Whale Branch game that they showed up, they had more Hampton County fans than Whale Branch.
One time's I was there with his mechanical dog.
Yeah, man.
All right, I got mine queued up here. I'm also going Bluffton by the narrowest margin over Hilton Head Prep. Although I do think if they played again now, I think Bluffton beats them. Just because I think they've been sharpened more since they were. Bluffton, Hilton Head Prep. I got Hampton at 3, and it's no hate for May River.
That's totally fair.
Because I think May River is really good, and I think they're getting better. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take at least one off Bluffton. But Hampton has gotten my attention. They are playing
me too.
Amazing basketball. I think that their pace and athleticism would be hell on May River. Like I think it would give them a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the past like Ridgeland or Jasper or Hampton teams that have been really good. Even that Estill team a little bit as good as some of those teams were, they played a wide open sort of undisciplined style of basketball. And that is not what this Hampton team does.
Don't. No,
they are well trained and well coached, and they play a very organized style of basketball despite having all those athletes.
Justin, I think it's totally fair to put them at number 3. They probably deserve they deserve.
And again, May River didn't do anything to lose that spot for me.
But I agree with you. I think they should. I think they do deserve a spot at number 3 just as much as May River does. I agree.
And then I got May River at 4, and I got JP2 at 5. So that makes it come out Bluffton, Hilton Head Prep, May River, Hampton, JP2 for our total.
It is
Hampton
very
at
tight.
4. Look at that. We weren't even. We were sleeping on Hampton the last time. We slept on them, but by the way, I think I was at a USCB game with Justin when I showed him the score.
Yeah.
Because I was debating about going to either the Bridges Prep game or the USCB game, and I think I may have made the right choice because it was another great USCB game that night as well. And
it was a bummer of a boys game.
All of a sudden, I just showed the score of the Hampton County Bridges Prep game, which of course was on Beaufort's Own with Javon and Tristan on the call. And it was 36-9 when I checked the score, and I was like, "Oh boy, that's an eye opener." I think for some people to say, "Yeah, Hampton County should be 100% in the top 5 of our rankings." Like I knew when we were going to do this again, I had to put them up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They've been a special team, and I again don't follow them very often, but this year I've followed them more, and it's because of the Bobcat Classic.
Right.
Because I saw both teams that weekend, and my eyes were opened. And my eyes are open, to several teams, both football and basketball, that I typically don't cover, and call on WHHI. Colleton County's one, Hampton's another. Yeah, my eyes are starting to open up, fellas.
Look out for Colleton in football season this year.
I might have to head out there, especially if the schedule comes out and they play somebody that I'm going to call. I might have to head out there for a game.
I think Chris Myers as the AD,
and that's a big deal.
I think he's going to be.
We remember what he's done,
and I also think that he is exactly what Adam Kinlock needs. Just a easygoing old head football coach that. And Chris isn't an old guy, but he's an old head when it comes.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's an old school kind of guy, and I just think he's going to be a great mentor to Kinlock. I know that they're already talking about the option, because Myers is an option guru, and the option makes so much sense there, man. It makes so much sense there.
I mean, Marcus, like you said, the first time you had seen Hampton was, of course, at the Bobcat Classic. This was my first time seeing Hampton on Friday night in person. Like I had watched them on Beaufort's Own. This was my first time watching them in person. I watched a little bit of the Bridges game after I got home from USCB, and I was like, wow, this team's good. I got to see them on Friday night against Whale Branch, and I was like, oh my, all right. Well,
they passed the eye test big time.
Like you said, Marcus, my eyes were open to Hampton County fully, and I was like, damn.
They're like the Sand Sharks Junior almost.
Right.
There.
Almost, yeah.
Not only are they're fast, they're agile, and they can dunk like
tomorrow.
And
they can shoot the three.
I agree with you, Justin. I feel like they'd give May River issues, man. If those two teams had played in the Bobcat Classic, I think it would have been interesting to watch.
Honestly, if they played today or tomorrow, I think they might give Prep some issues too.
I tell you what, if Hampton was to ever face Bluffton, that would be so much fun.
I think they have.
That would be, especially like this iteration of it.
Yeah, that would have been amazing if they played this year.
Ooh.
But I agree with Justin there, because physicality-wise, Hampton County's got the edge over Hillman Prep in that situation. I think the way they play, I think the way they use, the way they use their athletics, athleticity or whatever.
Athleticism.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Athleticity.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's been a long day.
It's okay.
It has, and Marcus is 9 hours away from fighting Hilton Head commuter traffic. Final thoughts?
Yeah, right. I just want to say real quick, I think if they faced Hilton Head Prep, I think they'd give them issues, because it's not just that they have athleticism and, physicality. It's how they use those two things when playing a basketball game. And I think that would give
They have some terrific chemistry going right now, too. I mean, chemistry is always tenuous, but when you're on an 11-game win streak, the chemistry is usually good. But
if I'm not mistaken, that team has been playing since like early AAU days, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've been playing all together for a long time. So, all right, let's round it out. Base Hit Live, baseball and softball themed apparel. calm your mitts, Max. If you want to be like Max, go to and live your best base hit life. Go to basehitlife.com and get you some
Great
gear.
stuff, by the way.
Dr. Ambrose Cole, official chiropractor of Loco Sports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. Shout out to them for everything they do for wrestling, and that's the reason that we have my man Bo Gwynn on tonight. And Barefoot Floor Care in the Low Country. Floor's so clean, your feet will thank you. And then finally, Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. You'll be in print this week. I think you might be in print this week. If that's what you mean. You talking about the Island News? I think you might have a column in print this week because you submitted one to me last night. So, all right, boys. Final thoughts.
I have a couple quick ones. If I can go first, because I feel like PTI, because I've got an error that I have to correct real quick. It was 9-6 Beaufort High over May River at the end of one. I got confused with the girls' score momentarily, but I just want to say, outside of the Super Bowl, sorry JJ, there were a bunch of big things.
Forever, baby.
Absolutely. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Great season for Kansas City. Philly looked outstanding last night and all year.
They won the game more than the Chiefs lost it. I mean,
yes, without question.
Fangio called a masterclass the game. Won that.
But congrats to Dick Vitale coming back, and he sounded, obviously the voice wasn't 100%, but he sounded great. Hubie Brown called his last game ever yesterday.
He's the greatest.
The dude is 91 years old.
He's the
and
best
he's still at
basketball color commentator.
And absolutely phenomenal. I mean, obviously I'm a huge Dick Vitale fan, but Hubie's like right there for me. Welcome back to Sunday NFL Countdown and ESPN, Randy Moss, after taking some time away with some family or with some health issues, some personal issues that he had to take care of. And all around, just a great weekend full of celebrations and whatnot. But
real quick,
that game was interesting last night too.
I want to remind everyone just how huge Hubie Brown is to the game of basketball. 33 years as a coach, 15 of those years were in the NBA for the Milwaukee Bucks, the Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks, and the Memphis Grizzlies. He joined ESPN in 2004, and he called over 600 televised games for ESPN and ABC. He was inducted into the National Basketball Hall of Fame in 2005 and has called 18 NBA Finals, 4 on TV, 14 of them on radio.
He's worked with some great partners, too. Yeah, Mike Tirico, Mike Breen, Dave Pash, Mark Jones, you name it.
Sometimes about Hubie Brown, but the dude's a legend.
I think I've learned more about the game of basketball from Hubie Brown than anybody else.
Absolutely.
The best ones really make you learn.
91.
Really make you learn the ins and outs of the game, and
he doesn't look a day over 70.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't. He really doesn't.
All right. Final thoughts, Wes?
Yeah. First off, how just reflecting on the day that was Saturday, working at USCB from the strike of dawn from 10:30 all the way to almost 11 p.m. Man, was that an amazing experience. It didn't start out too well. The first baseball game, we let a big lead slip away, but just great to see them fight back and win game 2. And then those 2 games at the Cove were just something special. And what a fantastic ending on both sides, the women's and the men's side. And just seeing the emotion of the women after winning that game and all it took to do so, despite not having the services of both Brielle Bortle and Madison Self, and they still were able to get the job done, which was incredibly impressive. So, major props to those young ladies and those young men who brought Vidal's team. Never count them out. 18-point comeback win in that second half, and they are right there. I mean, their odds of hosting a first round playoff game are getting higher and higher. Now there's
baby.
There's still a lot
Jared
more
on
to
the
do.
call for a first round playoff game. How about that?
It could go sideways still, but I'm feeling pretty good about it.
But hey, like I said, a lot more work to be done before then. But I love the way that Fudala's team continues to compete and just find a way through whatever adversity that they face, despite a couple of tough goals that went against them and just a chaotic, in every sense of the word, second half. I mean, that was absolutely crazy. But hey, you come out with a win. Just what a heck of a job, just battling and coming through with the big shots and the big time plays when they needed to. So
I can't wait to see him in a couple of weeks. I really can't.
Yep. Me too. But really quick. Now, I mean, obviously, Jalen Hurts was the MVP of that game. But when you look at that game as a whole, it comes down to the way that Philadelphia play defense, because I don't remember seeing that kind of success against a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And
our offensive line was trash.
Yeah, and just what an awesome moment for Cooper DeJean to get that pick six on his 22nd birthday. Now I don't remember it was Barkley's birthday, but it was also Cooper's 22nd birthday, and just what an awesome moment for him. Really well deserved. And then the second guy who got the interception, looking at his name, it was Zach Bond. Zach Bond from Wisconsin. He was from Wisconsin, but he, another unsung hero on that defense. You just talk about some of those guys that kind of came out of nowhere this year, and there were periods where there were some Eagles fans that were calling for their head coach's job. Like there were some points in that year.
He was literally fighting with fans after the game.
3 months ago, like
Sirianni had some moments throughout this season where it was on the precipice of really going south.
Yeah,
and they found a way to right the ship, and they started to find it. And the defense was a big part of it. That defense was insanely good those last couple of weeks heading into the postseason. And man, they turned it on to another level. They didn't even blitz once, and they continued to almost set a Super Bowl record for the most sacks in a game. Just unbelievable job that they did, and not trying to discredit Kansas City, because that's a tremendous team, great coaching staff. Does not tarnish anything much about Patrick Mahomes' legacy. He's won 3 Super Bowls and certainly could win some more before all is said and done. But the Eagles, with just an incredible statement victory, and to cap off just a turnaround season for them, because it was not looking great early for that Philadelphia side. So just props to Nick Sirianni, that coaching staff, Vic Fangio, for doing one heck of a job to get themselves in the right direction, and then just propel themselves and fly to the top of the NFL. So just congratulations to Philadelphia and their fans, because I know many Eagles fans around here in the local.
They were all on my Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
Yeah. I don't troll nobody.
And by the way,
congratulations as well to Green Man. I gotta give congratulations.
Green Man.
Yeah, where is he? Where's Green Man? He should be coming in any second now. There he is, Green Man. Yeah.
Oh,
the greatest Eagles fan. All right, boys. I'm gonna wind us down before we hit an hour and a half. How about that?
I was gonna say something real quick, because when I get off of here, obviously I'm gonna be watching Luka Doncic's debut as a Laker tonight at 10:30. So starting
hopefully he doesn't get hurt like Anthony Davis.
Well, that's exactly where I was about to go with that. On the other hand, Anthony Davis will be out for the next few weeks with a abductor strain.
Man,
what a way to start your career in Dallas,
that's
baby.
a tough break for Dallas.
Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, must be thinking, I may have made a mistake.
Oh, no.
Made a huge mistake. There's an Arrested Development tag for you. All right, boys. Let's call it a night. Thanks so much to Bo Gwynn, the MVP, as Kevin Libby said, and he's absolutely right. He was the MVP. He's the man. congrats to the May River Sharks state champs, and hopefully they can bring home a bunch of gold in a couple of weeks from the individual state championships. Thanks to you fellas for hanging around and talking
By
sports.
the way, where's everyone going tomorrow night? I'm headed to the den.
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far.
I haven't looked, actually.
I've got May River Bluffton tomorrow.
Oh, you'll be there
right.
too. Okay.
I mean, that's the place to
It'd
be.
be great.
Yeah.
That is the
Place to be. And then I'll be at Hilton Head, Beaufort on Thursday.
All
right.
All right, boys. Let's have a great night. And thanks to everybody who came along for the ride. And thanks to all of our sponsors. And we'll see you again next time for Wes Kerr, Max Araj, and Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV. I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco!